Hello fragrance friends, it's Six Pack Sarah. Today I'm going to bring you my new melting basket because let me show you. I haven't used everything up, but I never do. But I used up quite a bit. I rarely get down that far before I switch things over. So it's time to add in some new scents. Plus my Lavender Speckles vendor wax is ready. It has hit her targeted cure date. So I'm excited to add that stuff in. My vendor box has some room. So I'll show you which things, if any, I'm switching out and then what I'm adding in to my melting basket for October through maybe end of October. Maybe I'll make it that far, but knowing me, probably not. So we'll see. So with Scentsy, this box is going to get pretty big, pretty full, because I've noticed I have quite a few that are nearly empty. So we'll see how many of those I can use up. But that just means I have to have a few more bars on hand, but also more variety, which is how I roll. So these are the ones that I had left over from last time. Autumn Blaze Maple, I have 2 cubes left. I enjoyed this one a few times over the last couple weeks, and I mixed it with things, which was fun. And I don't actually usually mix that one, but it was really nice. I have cranberry pumpkin spice, 3 cubes. Today I used a cube of this and I mixed it with Spiced and Spirited because I had this bar when it originally came out and it kind of underwhelmed me, but then when I smelled it just this summer for Bring Back My Bar, I was like, oh, why did I overlook this? But I think because the pumpkin and the creaminess in it is, I don't know, like I like sweet, but I wanted it to be more spicy. So I put Spiced and Spirited with it, and that was nice. And then in another warmer, I mixed Spiced and Spirited with Central Park Pralines because I like this one as well, but it's also not as spicy as I want it. I might have a thing for spice. Anyway, so those are going in my living room right now, alternating. But I'm going to leave these in... No, I forgot. I'm going to put Central Park Pralines for like Thanksgiving era of this year, but keep Cranberry Pumpkin Spice in my basket. Winterberry Apple Tea, I have half of a bar left, so I'm going to keep that one in. Oh, Butterbeer. I'm using this as my son's bar, so about once a week, like, you know, for the weekend, I'll put 1 cube in his bedroom warmer and just let him be happy. I love it too, but I'll smell it by going into his room and checking on him. So I've got 6 cubes of that, 6 more weeks of him being happy. When I'm not doing Butterbeer in that room, I often do Marvel 9 Realms. So actually, in that room is where I tested Central Park Pralines, and it did smell really good. To me, it doesn't smell like, when I think of like a nut selling stand, I think of all those cinnamon spicy nuts, and it's not that. So I'm always hesitant. Do I love it or not? But when I had it on in their room, it was really good. Gimme Candy. This is a staple for me all fall, at least to have on hand to mix things with, kind of like pie crust and cupcakes at Tiffany's or sugar cookie. So I just have it out for whenever the mood strikes me, and it might be mixed, it might not be mixed. So I have 6 cubes to use of that, 6 cubes to use of Caramel Apple Craze. Also another staple. I use this a lot, and if I'm not using this, I'm often mixing apple with something, either Gimme Candy or Oats and Honey or something. So yes, that will be staying out too. Okay, I didn't get around to using Apple Press, partly because I know it's my last bar. So once I break into it, I feel like I need to use it up during that season. And I do really like it. I always did. But the floral in it is more obvious to me now than it used to be. So I have like a love, not love relationship with it. So that's why it came out of my club. But that doesn't mean I want it to be out of my life, possibly forever. depending on what happens with Bring Back My Bar. I know it's popular and it will probably be voted back if it's allowed to be. We just don't know what that's going to look like. Stroopwafel Delight. I haven't started this one because, again, I want it to be cold. When it's warm, this bar can be too cloying. So yeah. And that's also my only bar of that one. Gingerbread Donut. I have the whole thing. Well, I just didn't get around to this one. Ooh, it's getting sweaty though. But I melted Lavender and Speckles Ginger Snaps Crave Donut, so I had some gingerbread in my life. Just not that one. Pumpkin Cinnamon Swirl. This was a favorite of mine for a couple years, so I'm waiting to melt it on a day when I'm like, oh yeah, this feels like it's a favorite of mine again. And Hazelnut Latte didn't touch because I want this on a cold, rainy day, and we have not had those. I shouldn't complain about that. It actually has been very nice weather. I just want fall before fall is over, right? Okay, now let's see what I'm going to add into it. I think I'm done making samples from the Harvest collection, so I think I'll try to use my last cube of Moonlight Whisper and my last 2 cubes of Pumpkin Honey Spice and my last 1 cube of Spiced Pecan Cream. And all of these scents in this collection I think are very good, but also most of them smell similar to other scents I've had and usually love. So for me, I haven't decided. I could put 1 or 2 bars in with my party closeout down the line. It'll just depend on what other things I'm deciding on. But they were good enough to repurchase. I just don't necessarily need them to stay around forever because I have my original loves, you know? I didn't think any of them were necessarily better than what I've smelled before. But they're all good. So if you're looking for something that just is going to be good for a lot of people, I do think this collection is a good one for that. So I also have the other one. Well, there's 2 more, but Cider and Crimson Berries. The bar is in my bathroom right now because I used it in there. But I'm going to save that one for closer to Christmas or Thanksgiving time as well because it kind of feels like it should be Christmas when this is on. So I'll just save it for when you're starting to feel excited for Christmas and Christmas decorating. All right, I'm gonna pull in my bar of Salted Caramel Cider, which is full. I've been starting to crave this one, so we're going to use that. That one to me is similar also enough to some others that I didn't keep it in my club throughout the warm months this last year, but I was so glad it came back to the catalog. It was a brick last year, so I'm glad it came to the catalog so that I can replace it without it being in my club budget. It can be in my party rewards budget. Spooky But Sweet is a full bar. So this is a pumpkin spice type scent. I'm gonna see how it differs from Frights and Delights. Frights and Delights is more like caramely maple, and Spooky But Sweet is definitely more pumpkin spice. I don't do pumpkin spice drinks and things like that, so I'm not a pumpkin spice expert, but I like as they say, it's not a Scentsy video unless you drop something. I like Spooky But Sweet, not my 100% favorite. Okay, but I'm going to work on that a little bit if it ever cools down in October. And also my last 2 cubes of this bar of Frights and Delights. I'm ready to work on that again. I had set that aside from before. And I have plenty of backups because I got the Scent of the Month kit last month. So if I decide 2 cubes isn't enough, I'll pull out another one. Toffee Butter Crunch. This one is so good. If you are familiar with Ginger Cookie Crunch, this is like the base of that, and then Ginger Cookie Crunch has a little bit of ginger in it. Just enough to make it more fresh. Not everyone says that, but that's how I think. This is a little bit warmer almost. I love it, and I've just been letting it sit aside, so I really want to actually melt it so I can keep it in my club. Toasted apple butter, I have 6 cubes of. I want to like this one more than I do, but the first like 6 hours or something, there's too much apple and some Scentsy apples I have a hard time with. Then once that apple kind of dies down, I love the cinnamon that's left. But I have like, I think I have this bar and one other, so I'll use those up, but I won't be as heartbroken about as I would be about other bars that I run out of. Gingerbread pecan waffles. I think I want to like this one more than I do. I don't know. Something hits me weird, but it is a good bar. It's just not for me, it's not as good as some of the others. I've still got some room in my basket. Okay, I'm pulling in some of the new release bars that I just got in my haul. Frosted marshmallow. This one almost smells like snow should be coming. So I don't know if I'll melt this earlier on or wait until it feels like snow might be in the air. But I could really see this being amazing when it's just like the air just gets that super chilly quality and you know snow is coming. And you don't want to go outside, but you sort of do because then you can get warm by whatever. Velvet Cashmere Woods. I'll probably put this in my bedroom at least to start. Now I did put my scent circle in my van. I don't know if it was too similar to the scent that was already in the van or if it wasn't strong enough to scent a van. But I was like, oh, I think it's helping, but is it doing anything? Anyway, so we'll see how I feel about the wax because it was my favorite when I went into all the Scentsy rooms at Scentsy Family Reunion. So like I really, really have been craving that experience of that room. So I hope I really, really like it in the warmers, but we'll have to see. Old Fashioned Evening. Looking forward to that one. And White Oak Woodland. This is a new release. Yeah, we'll have to test this out because sometimes I can do woody type scents just fine and other times they stress me out. Okay, and then Maple Vanilla Glaze, 6 cubes. We'll have to see how this goes this year. In the past, I've started to suspect that it gives me headaches. So we'll see how this year goes melting it. If not, I may have to if it does give me headaches, I may have to rehome it to someone because I love the scent, but I don't love headaches, right? So we'll have to test that out. Autumn Hearth, another bar that this will be wonderful if it cools down. I really like it when it's chilly out. Churro Churro. This is just amazing. I can use this anytime, but I often set it aside. But if it doesn't cool down, I'm definitely using it. Vanilla Cream. I use this as a mixer a lot. Although I use it more in the spring and summer. But I used up my other bar, so wanted to have one out and handy. Here, finally, my bar of cider mill. I have 5 cubes. When I did my candle haul, I said this scent has gotten weird to me. The candle smells good, but the bar has not been smelling good to me the last few years, which is heartbreaking because when it first came out and for many years after that, I did love it, like most people. But it's just gotten weird. So I might have to mix it with vanilla bean buttercream or I could try some of my new things. I could even mix it with like Fender Wax pie crust or something. And my one little cube of Bon Appetit from Ratatouille. I think I'll try to use this one up because then I can be done with it. I was seeing if anyone else wanted a sample of it or anything. And it smells good when you smell it in the clam as far as a scent, but it is kind of weird to me and most people to actually have it on in warmer, especially when it's like all day long. When I do put it on, I usually wait till at least lunch, if not dinner, before I put it on and maybe put some bread and butter with it. So those are the Scentsy bars. Here, I'll show you. It's actually not as full as I expected, and especially since at least one of these are going into a bedroom or bathroom, this is how full I like my basket to be, just right to the top. So that's good. So hopefully I will use up most of those 1 to 2 cube bars and work on a bunch of others, and we will update you. If I can make it to almost Thanksgiving, I will. We'll see. Yeah. Okay, so I will do some vendor wax soon. If you're not interested in that, thanks for watching. Okay, let's work on this vendor wax. So I did finish off a few of my small bags. So what I did was I took mini melter bags from Rose Curls and I put them in smaller ones with less quantity, so I could try to work on finishing up parts of it without having to feel like I needed to finish up a whole mini melter bag, and to give myself room for a little more variety. So let's see if there's any I want to set aside until the next round. I love Luke's Diner, but I think I'm going to set it aside. We'll come back to this soon because I do love it. I do have a lot of it, but let's set that one aside. We've got some Luke's Diner blends that I think I'll work on instead. And then this from Lavender Speckles, pumpkin apple type. I'm just going to take a break from that one. And then I'm going to keep in the rest of this vanilla crunch donuts. Use that up in this round. I believe I have backups of all of these, like the rest of the mini melter bag. So dunk my Streuselkuchen. This was my customs from Rose Curls, my one customs, and I loved it. I love it a lot. Here, this one. Did somebody say Luke's Diner? So this is what I'll work on before I go back to regular Luke's Diner. Cider Lane Streuselkuchen. With it being so warm this entire September, even in the North Wisconsin area, I haven't been doing as many of, like, I've been picking from the blends that are more on the summery side of fall and not getting around to the cool weather fall ones as much. So that would be one of those for me. And Cupcakes at Tiffany's. This just mixes with anything, anytime. It's great. It's good on its own too, but that's my primary use. And then Cider Mill Bake Shop, my customs. And I still haven't actually warmed it. But again, I pick it up, I go, yes, it smells good, but I want it to be cooler outside to warm it. So I haven't. So I really need to start melting it even though it's not quite cool out. I'm still keeping in pie crust from Lavender Speckles. Spoiler alert, I got more in the last pre-order last weekend. And I'm planning on getting a whole bunch in my customs order. Could I have done it all at one time? Probably, but I split it up. Anyway, I just love this one. I mix it as well with other things just to give it a little extra sugary yumminess. And then this 1 cube of Sleeping with the Zucchinis, I think I put in my candle crock with a bunch of other things, but I need to use it on its own. But this one especially is like, oh, that would be really nice when it's cold outside. Smith & Company Cereal Killer. This is one of my favorites, but I just haven't put it in any warmers this fall. It's nice and yummy. It's along the lines of Churro Churro from Scentsy, but it's just really yummy, cinnamony, and I'm not avoiding it because I don't like it. I'm avoiding it because I'll always be happy it's around. And then I finally broke into my Teddy Bees cider cookies, and this did smell a lot better than last year and the year before when I was trying to use it, my first souffle. So I would say that it was the first time I thought to myself, oh, I'm having a good Teddy Bees experience. This is nice. But then every so often I would walk in the room and go, oh, I get the note that for whatever it is in Teddy Bees that I don't love. I'm guessing it's the base wax that I don't love. So I don't really do Teddy Bees anymore, but I do like the scent of this one a lot more. It's not quite true to what I wanted it to be when I ordered it, but it's a lot better than when I first got it and thought, my husband thought, and I could see where he was coming from. This smells like strawberry yogurt. So like that doesn't track with cider cookies. All right, and then what am I going to pull in for vendor? Kris Kringle's Kitchen, which smells very fall to me, but sounds like it should be winter. So in my brain, I want it to be cold or fall. Casper, this is actually good all the time. I've been tempted to use it when it's not fall. Ooey Gooey Oatmeal Iced Marshmallow Coffee. This is one of the ones that maybe isn't my favorite, but I want to use it. And it does smell like fall. And Starbeans Cafe. So I've switched out Luke's Diner for Starbeans Cafe. Those are two of my favorite Rose Girls scents. So I wanted to make sure I had coffee, first of all. But that's all the Rose Girls I'm adding in. So I kept a lot of the other ones and I just added in a few. Also for coffee, I'm going to use some more Knowles Farm Scents Cali Coffee Bar. When I warmed this last time, I once thought I was melting Hug in a Mug from Scentsy. So it is a little more on the chocolatey side to me. But Hug in a Mug is probably the best chocolate scent I have because it's not super intense on the chocolate. I love to eat dark chocolate. I just had some before this video. But as for scent, I like it to be a little more creamy, like Hug in a Mug, and this is supposed to be coffee, cream, sugar, and vanilla. So there's that. Going to try to use up Harvest Cupcake from Grace and Ivy, which is pumpkin, vanilla buttercream, and cinnamon. And cinnamon buns. I think I'm most excited for cinnamon buns. Yeah, I just hope it performs well, right? But I should be able to use those up. And then from Smith & Company, I'll add in pumpkin spice. I have 4 cubes left. She had pumpkin, clove, cinnamon, and pecan in it. And I do enjoy it, but it's not as much of a love as the Serial Killer one. So I just haven't gotten around to using this whole thing. So that's my goal, is to use that. Then the rest is Lavender and Speckles. Like I said, I was really excited for the latest pre-order to be ready to use. And starting today, it's ready to use. I had to be really careful about not just putting all of them in, because that was tempting. So I'm going to see how much of this box I can use, but I probably won't use them all up. No, I won't use them all up because that's my personality. But I'll try to use at least part of all of them before I get bored and change over or get restless. But then I'll add in some of the other newer ones, so that'll be fun. So I'm going to add in one shape of one of my customs Speckles unbirthday cake. This is her regular Speckles birthday cake with no Palo Santo. And 2 of my kids are born in October, so I gotta have some birthday cake scents, right? And birthday coffee cake from Lavender and Speckles. This one is less likely to be used, but I'm gonna put it in just in case. And then the Best Fall Blend, I just got this one in the pre-order, so I'm looking forward to using that. Warm Vanilla and Rouge. This would be a bedroom scent if I use it. And then from last year is Cider Lane Pumpkin Pecan Waffles and Cream Cheese Frosting. I think this was my second favorite from the Cider Lane sampler last year. I have it in a bag because the clamshell cracked. I just wanted to make sure it was keeping the scent in. Yeah, that's super yummy. If you like bakery and Cider Lane and she ever offers it again, you should try it. I also have my clamshell of Donut Shop, which I believe was in the holiday single oil sampler last year. I liked that sampler so I could kind of get a taste of several single oil scents all at once. Town Bakery, this was from June of this year. It has Sugar Cookie Royale, Macintosh Apples, Vanilla Buttercream Frosting. And this is more of a light with just the buttercream and apple. It's more of a light apple scent. So I thought while the weather is still not cooperating for fall, I'll choose that one as my apple. Morning Pumpkin, this is from the last pre-order. Another coffee scent, so that's good. And Pumpkin Pecans and Spiced Buttercream. This was my favorite from the last pre-order, so I have, what, 4 from the last pre-order, I think. Yeah, like I said, I at least want to try all of those. So just to show you what we're working with in a non-organized fashion, full to the brim. We'll see how I do with this before I get restless, right? Okay, so that's the vendor wax that I'm going to use. I overlooked one of them, so Donut Shop and Palo and Pretzel. I don't love Palo. It seems muted in this sample size, so I'm gonna try this one instead of rehoming it. I'll probably put it in an out of the way room though, just so that if it doesn't go well, I'm not sitting in it all day. But yeah, I do love Donut Shop, so that's good. And like I mentioned, it's a birthday month for us, so there's a good chance I'll pull out happy birthday or birthday wishes from Scentsy because I forgot to grab those since they're not in my fall stash, but I usually do those on birthdays. And so my 2 kids who have birthdays have the same birthday. They're not twins. They're 4 years apart, but they have the same birthday. And their birthday is like National Dessert Day or something. So that's fun. So it's extra nice to do a happy birthday scent for them. But I love to put it on and then I'm working on their cakes and it's just fun. But I can just do vendor wax if I choose not to do happy birthday, so we'll see. We'll see how the day goes. My son would probably like it if I just put butterbeer around everywhere. But then it will be gone and we won't get any till my next club shipment. And the club shipment will depend on how well I do on this melting basket. So that's that. Alright, so that's my October 5th melting basket update. And like I said, I'll try to make it to about Thanksgiving and then switch over to... No, I don't want to make it till Thanksgiving. October to November is a long time. Considering a lot of my fall scents that aren't in this basket are definitely on the colder weather side, I'll see if I can make it until just before Halloween, and then I can kind of do a Halloween going towards Thanksgiving update. But again, we will see because everything changes. But I will be purchasing the Gilmore Girls wax. I think I want to wait until the brick release, so I'm kind of gambling. They might be sold out by then, but we'll give it a try. But if worse comes to worse, you can get them through a Scentsy Club. Even if it's sold out, you just won't get the gift box packaging, but that's okay. I would love the gift box packaging, but it's okay not to have it. So I will probably add those in, but that would most likely not get here until later. Oh, and bricks. I need to make sure I don't forget to use my bricks. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't really set aside too many for later, so I pretty much kept what I had all left over already and just added in a little bit more. So this will be a fun basket. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.